Now, good morning, all of you. Now, is the screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we will start within a couple of minutes. So good morning once again, and it's time to start our lecture. In last lecture, we have started the forms of igneous rock. Now, forms we have discussed regarding with this. The size and shape of the igneous rock is considered as a form. So in the form, there are two types of the forms. One is the concordant, and second one is the discordant type of the form. The difference between concordant and discordant type of the form we have already discussed. Concordant means those forms which are parallel to the layers of the pre-formed or pre-existing rock. That horizontal parallel intrusion is considered as a concordant form, and the form which cut across the layer, or it is considered as a bedding plane, layer or bed or bedding plane. So those cut the horizontal layer, that forms are considered as a discordant form. Okay. So in the form, the first form we have already discussed, dike. Okay. We have discussed these examples of the dike. Now today we are going to discuss the second type of the intrusion, which known as a seal. Okay. Now the difference between seal and dike is that the dike was the discordant intrusion. Discordant form means dike cuts the bedding plane, and seal is the concordant form. Okay. Concordant means it remains parallel to the bedding plane or the horizontal layers. Now, it may extend for hundreds of kilometers. What is the meaning of this? Some dikes are hundreds of kilometers in length and up to 10 kilometers in the width. Okay, but normally the width is in meter. The the width in kilometers, such as dikes are very rare, but its length is maximum. Okay, so the length of the dike is depend on the forces of the magma, temperature, degree of fluidity, viscosity, weight of overlying sediments, etc. Now, since basic magma are more fluid than acidic magma, mostly seals are made up of the gabbro, dolerite, and basalt. Now, we have discussed the characters of the magma. There are mainly three types of the magma: acidic, basic, and intermediate. In that, we have seen that the basic magma having the more fluidity means it flow more distance. That's why the seals are generally in basic in composition, having maximum length, and the basic rocks are generally basalt, dolerite, and gabbro. Okay, so just a minute, I will draw here the sketch of the seal and how it is formed, that I'm going to explain you now. Suppose this is the surface of the earth. Okay, and this is the magma chamber. Okay, this is the magma chamber, and the magma trying to come from these volcanic pipes. And suddenly, if there are the horizontal rocks in these areas, okay, suppose these are the horizontal rocks present in these areas. Now, this magma, when it comes to upward side, some magma runs horizontally. So the magma flows horizontally to these horizontal layer in the crack, and after cooling this magma is which runs parallel, this magma is converted into the seals. Okay, so the seals are formed such a type. So when you look here, the length of this magma is maximum. Okay, so this is the length of magma, and this is the vertical distance is the width of the that seal, and this is the length of that seal, which indicated by L, and width is indicated here with the W. Okay, so when you compare here, length is very large as compared to the width. Some seals are having hundreds of kilometer length, but as compared to the length, its width is very low. Now, this length of the magma, the length of the seal is mostly depend on the various factors. In that factor, the most common factor is the viscosity and fluidity. Okay. Now, how the length of the seal is depend on viscosity and fluidity, that I have explained. When the viscosity is maximum, that time it may flow for greater distance, or it may travel very large distance. That's why its length will be maximum when the viscosity is maximum, and when its viscosity is minimum, then the its length will be minimum. So which magmas having the maximum length? So basic magma having the maximum length of the seals, and the acidic seals like the granite, pegmatite, such a seals are also there, but they are very rare. So such a acidic composition seals having the less length as compared to the basic seals like basalt, gabbro, and dolerite. So these gabbro, dolerite, and basalt, these are the basic type of the seals. Okay, because it forms from the basic type of the magma. Yes. So here you can clearly see that the seals and dikes. So this is the magma pipe from which the magma tries to come upward, and when it runs parallel to the original rock. So these are the original rock. This one, this one, this one. Okay. So after cooling, this magma is converted into such a seals. Okay, and this horizontal structure is considered as a seal, and this this structure which cut across the rock, this structure is considered as a dike, dyke. Okay, now these are the some images of the seals which we seen in the field. Now here you can clearly see various types of the seals and dikes, and you can clearly differentiate between seal and dike easily here. So these are the seals. When you look here, now here you how can you recognize seal and dike? So these seals are parallel to the that rock layer. When you look here, these are the rock layers which are present here, and these seals remains parallel to the original rock, and these are the dikes. Okay, now here you can see that this is the dike, this one is also dike, and this is the horizontal layer. Okay, now here you can clearly see this is the dike, this is the horizontal layer. Okay, hills, and to that horizontal layer these dikes cut across. That's why such a structure is considered as a dike. Just suppose here also this is the best example of the seal. Now here, when you look here, this portion is considered as a seal which runs horizontally parallel. Now in nature, seal and dikes are sometimes present at same place. Now when you look here, this is the intrusion of the magma. Okay. Now when it up to this portion is considered as a dike because it cuts across vertically, and this portion which runs horizontally, this portion is considered as a seal. Okay. So this is the seal and dike. The next structure or next form of the igneous rock is the laccolith. Okay. Now laccolith. Now what is the meaning of laccolith? It is a concordant body which flat bottom and convex upward. It is dome shaped. Simple meaning is there. It is concordant body. Now what is the meaning of concordant? That we know. Concordant means it parallel to the rock layer. It runs parallel to the rock layer. So this structure is considered as a laccolith, and generally it remains parallel to the upper layer, and its bottom is also runs parallel to the bottom layer. That's why it is considered as a laccolith, or it is a concordant body. Now, what is the character of this laccolith? With flat bottom, when you see here, its bottom is more or less flat. Bottom side of this structure or this form is flat and convex upward. So such a type of the points is considered as a convex side, and it is towards the upward side, or it is dome shaped. Okay. So such a shape is considered as a dome shape having convex upward, and flat is generally bottom. Flat bottom is present. Now how it forms? Now when the magma, just a minute, I will activate my drawing. Suppose from this volcanic pipe, the magma trying to upward come towards the upward direction, and suppose when magma is sprayed in this layer, okay, and if this layer is hard, okay, this layer is hard. That's why magma does not come upward side from this layer, and it's spread in this region only. Okay. So it forms such a type of the dome shaped structure having the flat bottom and the convex upward side. That's why after intrusion, the upper layers are also converted into such a folds or wave-like pattern. Okay. So such a type of the structure is considered as a laccolith. So, all please, it is a request that please stay here. I have one important work. Okay, just stay here. I will come back within 2-3 minutes. Okay. Now, am I audible to you? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. So, like this, the laccoliths are formed. Laccoliths means just only remember that flat bottom and upward side is dome-shaped convex. Now, actually, how these laccoliths are seen in the field? Field मध्ये हे laccoliths कसे दिसतात? Okay, like this. The laccoliths are formed. So here you can clearly understand this is the top dome shaped side and this bottom is flat. Okay, so such a structures are considered as a laccolith. Suppose this is the another image of the laccolith. This is the top and this is the bottom, more or less flat. Just a minute, due to network, I have disconnected. So I think the screen is not visible to you, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just wait. I will share it again. Hello, now is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, yes, yes, okay. So the after the localith, we are going to discuss the next type of the form, which known as the batholiths. Okay. Now the batholiths are the largest kind of plutons. irregular in shape and occupies large area. So batholiths generally only remember that the shape is not regular. They are formed in very irregular shaped bodies. Plutons. Now this word is very important. Plutons means the large rock bodies which are generally formed from plutonic type of the rock. Okay, plutonic. In the classification of the igneous rock, we have discussed regarding with this word pluton or plutonic. Now, plutonic means those rocks which are formed at very great depth inside the earth. Such a type of the rocks are considered as a plutons or plutonic rocks like granite, gabbro, etc. Okay, and they are irregular in shape and size, occupies very large area. Very large area means it can extend in hundreds of kilometers. Okay, hundreds of square kilometer area will cover with these batholiths. Now their sides sloping away from each other. Only remember that the two sides are having the slope away from each other in opposite direction, make them larger and downward extending to greater depth. Means as we go downward side, its thickness is maximum, and towards the upward side, as compared to the bottom, the thickness is minimum because having the sloping sides that I am going to show you with the diagram. These are either granites or granodiorites in composition. Means the batholiths are generally consist of the granite type of the rocks that generally we used in construction. So these are the batholiths. When you look here, just wait, I will show you. When you look here, the batholiths having the sloping sides. Okay, so these are the sloping sides. That's why at the top where I have marked with green color, the thickness of batholith is minimum, and at the bottom, when you look at the bottom, its thickness is maximum up to kilometer in length, and here at the top it is few kilometer in length. Now another feature which associated with the batholith is the stalk. बॅथोलिथ बरोबरच अजून एक स्ट्रक्चर नेहमी त्या ठिकाणी बघायला मिळतं, त्याला स्टॉक म्हटलं जातं. दे आर व्हेरी स्मॉल ॲज कम्पेअर्ड टू दी बॅथोलिथ अँड जनरली दे आर प्रेझेंट अबोव दी बॅथोलिथ. ओके, हॅव्हिंग मॅक्झिमम लेंथ 10 किलोमीटर. बियॉन्ड 10 किलोमीटर इट इज कन्सिडर्ड ॲज ए बॅथोलिथ. म्हणजे बॅथोलिथ सारखंच एक स्ट्रक्चर त्या ठिकाणी तयार झालेलं असतं की ज्याची लेंथ ही 10 किलोमीटर पर्यंत असू शकते. 10 किलोमीटरच्या पुढे जर अशा स्ट्रक्चरची जर लेंथ गेली तर त्या स्ट्रक्चरला बॅथोलिथ म्हणून कन्सिडर केलं जातं. ओके, अँड जनरली स्टॉक्स अँड बॅथोलिथ आर प्रेझेंट in the same area. So this is the batholith. When you look here, such a huge rock bodies are present in the Karnataka state. When you go towards the Hampi Hospital area, in that area such a large granite bodies are present and that are considered as a batholiths. Another is the phacolith. Okay, phacolith, lopholith. Okay, now the first we will discuss regarding with the phacolith. Now, what is the meaning of phacolith? Phacolith means these are concordant bodies. Concordant means which remains parallel to the original rock that occurs along the crest and trubs of the folded sedimentary strata. Now, what is the meaning of fold, crest, trub? That we are going to discuss in the next unit. But only remember that sometimes horizontal rocks are converted into such a wave-like structure due to various forces acting on it. And when the horizontal rocks converted into such a type of the wave-like structure, such a structures are considered as a fold. Okay, and we know that as it looks like the wave-like structure, this portion we consider as a crest, and this depression we considered as a trough. In wave, we have already studied it. This top portion is crest and bottom portion is depression portion is trough. Generally, in these troughs and crest, like here, this is the in the trough, this rock is formed, and in the crest, this igneous form is formed. So such a forms which developed at the trough and crest, they are considered as a facoliths. Okay. Now another form is there which known as the lopoliths. Now lopolith means they are basin or saucer shaped concordant bodies. Now saucer. Now what is meaning of saucer? Can anybody know what is meaning of saucer shape? So just a minute, I will show you here. So this shape is considered as a saucer shape. Now what is the meaning of saucer? Can anybody know?
बशीसारखा.
येस येस येस, म्हणजे आपण बशी जी यूज करतो, बशीसारखा याचा शेप असतो. कप अँड सॉसर जनरली आपण हे वर्ड्स यूज करतो. आता या ठिकाणी बॉटमला जर तुम्ही बघितलं तर हा सॉसर सारखा त्याचा शेप आहे, आणि ही सुद्धा कॉन्कॉर्डंट बॉडी असते. कॉन्कॉर्डंट म्हणजे विच रिमेन्स पॅरलल टू दी ओरिजिनल रॉक. हे वरचे टॉपचे रॉक आणि बॉटमचे रॉक, याला ही काय आहे, पॅरलल बॉडी आहे. दॅट्स वाय इट इज कन्सिडर्ड ॲज ए कॉन्कॉर्डंट शेप्ड बॉडीज. आता याच्यामध्ये टॉप जो असतो तो नियरली फ्लॅट असतो. याचा टॉप सरफेस जर बघितला तर फ्लॅट असेल, आणि बॉटम जो असतो तो कॉन्व्हेक्स असतो. ओके. याच्या अगोदर लॅकोलिथ म्हणून आपण एक बघितलेलं आहे की ज्याच्यामध्ये याच्या अपोजिट होतं की टॉप कॉन्व्हेक्स होता, बॉटम त्याचा फ्लॅट होता. याच्यामध्ये अपोजिट आहे, टॉप फ्लॅट आहे आणि बॉटम याचा कॉन्व्हेक्स शेप मध्ये आहे. ओके. They are also very huge bodies having the diameter up to 150 miles, approximately 240 kilometers. खूप मोठ्या लेंथ वरती या बॉडीज तयार झालेल्या असतात आणि त्यांची लेंथ खूप जास्त असते. अप टू 240 किलोमीटर पर्यंत त्याची लेंथ असू शकते. सो आता मगाशी मी तुम्हाला सांगितलेलं फॅकोलिथ जो आपण बघितलेला होता, तर या ठिकाणी तुम्हाला हे फॅकोलिथ बघायला मिळतात. आता याच्यामध्ये जर बघितलं तुम्ही तर हा फोल्डेड रॉक आहे. जस्ट मिनिट, आय विल चेंज माय कलर. सपोज दिस इज दी फोल्डेड रॉक. आता हे फोल्ड झालेले रॉक्स आहेत. ओके. आणि या फोल्ड झालेल्या रॉक्स मध्ये आपल्याला या ठिकाणी हा ट्रपचा पोर्शन असतो आणि हा क्रेस्टचा पोर्शन असतो. ओके. तर या क्रेस्ट मध्ये आणि या ट्रप मध्ये जे रॉक तयार होतात याला आपण काय म्हणतो, फॅकोलिथ म्हणून कन्सिडर करत असतो. साजिदा दुमडे, प्लीज म्यूट युअर सेल्फ. साजिया दुमडे, प्लीज म्यूट युअर सेल्फ. So this is the lopolith, where the top is more or less flat and bottom is convex shaped. Just minute. साजिया दुमडे, विजय राठोड, प्लीज म्यूट yourself. विजय राठोड, साजिया. Okay. So these are the various forms and its sketches are like this. You have to draw the diagrams like this. Okay. You can take the screenshot of this diagrams. All the diagrams are here. Now, these are the various points regarding with the igneous rock. आता हे आपण igneous rock पर्यंत बघितलेलं आहे. Okay. At the initial phase, I have told that there are three types of the rock: the igneous rock, sedimentary rock, and metamorphic type of the rock. So the first type of the rock, that is the igneous rock, we have finished. Now we are going to start the next type of the rock, which are considered as a sedimentary rock. Okay. Now, how these sedimentary rocks are formed? Just a minute. I have to show you one video at the initial lecture. I forgot to explain you. I forgot to show you that video. Just a minute. I will share it with you.
My name is Thor Robertson. Today I'm going to be teaching you about the rock cycle. First, you need to know about the three different types of rocks: igneous, sedimentary, metamorphic. Each of these rocks has a unique way of forming and can even transform into one another. Now, let's start by explaining how igneous rocks form. This volcano looks like it's about to erupt. Beneath the Earth's crust is liquid magma. Magma usually travels to the Earth's surface through volcanoes. Once the liquid hot magma makes its way above ground, it cools and hardens over time into new rock. These rocks that form are what we know as igneous rocks. Sedimentary and metamorphic rocks can become igneous rocks by melting and hardening, although this is a very rare occurrence. Now, let's move on to sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks are easy to identify because of their name. Sedimentary rocks are composed of loose sediments, hence the name. Parts of igneous and metamorphic rocks can become sedimentary rocks through weathering, erosion, compaction, and cementation. Weathering and erosion are natural forces that cause pieces of rocks to break off into smaller sediments. This is usually caused by wind or the water. These sediments then get carried away and gather over time, as you can see here. This is called deposition. Now, compaction and cementation binds these sediments together with pressure and other earth elements, specifically water. The rocks that form are what we know as sedimentary rocks. Finally, let's discuss metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks form from a process, similarly called metamorphosis. Metamorphosis occurs when other rocks are subject to intense heat and pressure. Let's take a look. Underground, magma can find its way through porous and loose materials. When the magma can't get to the surface, it starts to change the sediments and materials that are close enough to feel its heat. The heat from the magma and the pressure from the tons of material above cause the surrounding sediments and materials to change their composition and structure. Metamorphosis usually occurs at temperatures between 300 and 700 degrees Celsius. These new rocks that form are what we know as metamorphic rock. Igneous and sedimentary rocks can go through metamorphosis if they are buried deep enough under the Earth's surface and if they are exposed to high enough temperatures. Let's get back to my office now. As you can see, rocks form in many ways, and each rock has the potential to become a different kind of rock under the right circumstances. The rock cycle has existed for as long as we can date back. Rocks have been forming and transforming for millions of years. The Earth is made of rocks, and now you know how they form. Thanks for watching. I'm Thor Robertson.
Able to see some of the examples like a Landsat TM and the hyperspectral scanners are there, in which the 1 to 7 bands are there, and in this 126 bands are there, and the
Just a minute.
patterns you are able to see that the similar pattern is being properly given a very unique behavior of the absorption.
Okay. So from that video, I have to show you that there are three type of the rocks: igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic type of the rocks. And each type of the rock will converted into another type of the rock. And this conversion is generally considered as a rock cycle. Now, in rock cycle, what will happen? One type of the rocks can be converted into another type. Means igneous rock can be converted into sedimentary rock. Sedimentary rock can be converted into metamorphic type of the rocks. Metamorphic rocks are again converted into igneous rock. Igneous rocks can be directly converted into metamorphic rocks, or metamorphic rocks can be converted into sedimentary type of the rock. Means each type of the rock can be directly converted into another type of the rock with different processes. So all these cycle is together considered as a sedimentary rocks. All that process is together considered as a rock cycle. In rock cycle, three types of the rocks are generally involved. One is the igneous rock, second one is the sedimentary rock, and third one is the metamorphic type of the rock. Now, out of that, we have discussed the igneous rocks in detail. In igneous rocks, what we have discussed, the process of formation of igneous rock, means what is the source of the formation of igneous rock, how they are formed, then its classification depending on silica percentage, depth of formation, and color. Again, we have discussed the different types of the forms, different structures, different textures of igneous rock that we have discussed. Now, from this point onwards, we are going to start we are going to discuss regarding with the next type of the rocks that are considered as a sedimentary type of the rocks, or it is also known as secondary rock. Okay.